ESPN 95.3.
Well, this town is a pigskin paradise.
KERX, Paris, Fort Smith.
You guys are awesome, baby. You have these guys, ESPN in Arkansas. They do a good job.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas?
Dixon Street. It'll get you.
Streaming live from
Hit that line.
.com.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Jones for the win. He got it. He got it. He got it. Mason Jones banks in a three with 0.1 seconds to play.
All right, hold on. It's almost halftime.
To wrap the week up, it's been an action-packed week and been a lot of fun, so we're looking forward to taking you into the weekend on these next couple of hours on Halftime. Phil Elson with you here, pals Matt Smackdown Jenkins, Matty T in the ESPN Arkansas headquarters. Guys, excited about whatever a weekend is now for you, Matt? You're SmackDown. You're always the first to clap once we get to 1 o'clock on Wednesday.
Now it's official.
Sorry, even the word weekend gets mentioned. You know, you came from the world of a place where weekends actually mean something.
I came from a world
you
of
took this job at the radio station, working in education. I know. Once the bell rung on Friday, it was just like freedom once again.
It's
Singing
like you,
Alice Cooper.
It's like you
were
got
saved
injected
by the bell.
It's like you got injected with heroin or something. As soon as that Friday, you didn't. It wasn't even
what the heck?
Whoa!
It wasn't even the bell. It was like you just.
Hopefully not.
No. Friday is Actually, there's two things. So when it's Friday, teachers are happy, but you're at the end of the week because 4 days of the week, teachers are in khakis, they're in dresses. I mean, you got to look good. Fridays is Jean Day. And I'm telling you, Jean Day for teachers is the words can't describe how happy teachers get when you can wear jeans to school on a Friday.
Did you ever have a Hawaiian shirt day?
I did.
If you wanted to, you could.
I just wore Hawaiian shirts on whatever days I wanted.
Oh, so does Weird Al. He does that.
Yeah. I was that teacher at BB High School.
That teacher that wore jeans and a Hawaiian shirt.
Yes, I was that teacher.
And then
got so
spirit. Excited for the bell to ring that you were mainlining heroin, apparently. Which, for those of you who just clicked this station on like a second ago, he made a joke about that. So no, it's not.
No, I'm not doing heroin. I'm sorry. I
No,
apologize.
Especially in schools, you don't want to do that.
No, we preach our kids not to. No, I was very creative with my wardrobe when I was a teacher, just because you get tired of wearing. As a male teacher, you don't have that many options.
You got funny tie option,
That's about it.
And it's like, what are you going to do? It's like one looks like a fish,
I was a teacher.
You know?
I was a teacher for 3 years. I can count on one hand how many times I wore a tie. It was just one time.
Yeah, but I'm sure every time you put a shirt on, it had a collar. Yeah.
Oh, yes,
the
it
life
did.
That I don't really ever want to lead.
Yep. So
you'll notice it's usually T-shirts when we're doing this radio show. I will wear the collared shirt for a Razorback broadcast. Occasionally, if it's a televised game for basketball, you might see me in a monkey suit. Maybe. I don't feel comfy in a suit, so that usually doesn't happen very often. Mike Neighbors wears suits sometimes for women's basketball games, but he's also now wearing the new moniker of dad to a brand new newborn baby last night, just before 9 o'clock in the evening. Our good friend Mike Neighbors, Arkansas women's basketball coach. Well, he's not the one who did the hard work. JC, his girlfriend, gave birth. 7-pound, 11-ounce, 21 inches long. Boy, crazy times to be having a kid, right? And it would have already been crazy for Mike because his daughter, Abby, who is a grad student at Arkansas, was supposed to get married this month. And a couple of months ago, actually 3 months ago, there was a flood in the first floor in Mike's house because a pipe broke. So, I mean,
he's had a croak.
Then there's the basketball season. Then there's the coronavirus pandemic. And, Mike Neighbors leading one crazy life.
Good for him, though. Congratulations to his family. And I'm actually, you talking about that, my cousin's fixing to, here probably August or September, she's going to give birth to her first child. She's basically my sister, but we're blood cousins, but we basically act like we're brother and sister. So
Very
We need to
good.
get neighbors
It
on the
looks
show
like one of
because I need to get I need to get some tips on how to be the fun uncle.
how to be the funkle. First of all, you're going to have to put those words together. That's how you do it.
Gotcha. So
Be
that's
the funkle.
that's
And you're big enough to do what every uncle is supposed to do, which is take the kid and toss him up in the air and then catch him.
Yeah,
But
don't forget
drop.
to catch him. Make sure you
Yeah.
catch. That's
the
yeah,
catch
these-
part is
these-
the most important part of being a funkle.
these claws can catch them. That's no problem. But I want to be that uncle that like when the kid gets tired of mom and dad, he's like, I'm going to Uncle Smackdown's house.
And then when they
We're gonna go watch
Smackdown's
wrestling.
house to watch some wrestling. That's
Yes.
exactly right.
And
You'll be the one that takes them to see their first ever body slam.
yes, and then when the boy turns 16, then we're gonna go hit clubs up, and then we're gonna live it up.
when he's 16,
Sure, why not? I
you're
got
gonna
it.
be buying him booze and stuff.
Yeah, I got it when I was 16.
Hey,
You did?
I had an uncle. I had an uncle that introduced me to a couple of things when I was around 17, 18.
gosh.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not the parents that are supposed to do that, right? It's their siblings.
I had the
Let
idea
them
like
take
Mr.
care
Papa
of it.
Giorgio.
Sounds to me like you're going to have a pretty exciting weekend here, SmackDown.
I'm excited. It's Friday. You got me all. I didn't start off the show like I should have with the hand clap. It's Friday, TGIF, but
Every Friday when I walk in, he looks at me and he says, "You know what today is? Friday's when the fun starts." And I'm like, "All right."
yes,
man."
because I said yes.
I know,
Shut
because
up,
the
Matty.
last 5 days have just been torture here in sports radio
Yep.
without games to talk about. But so yeah, I'm excited for Mike. Have been for a long time. We definitely would like to get him on at some point to see what it's like to be a father all over again at the age of 51. And we just find out that our good friend B.E. in Clarksville celebrated a birthday yesterday.
Well, happy birthday, B.E.
And Bowen Neighbors sharing a birth date, 45 years apart. Well done.
That was quick math. That was very good.
They ought to get around. They ought to get along very well. So, all right. Yesterday, you guys know I like to take a bike ride around Pittsburgh, as I've been here now. 2 weeks? I'll be here another week and a half before I come back, and we'll do our live show at Knockouts, the new salon on Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith. So I felt like I'm trying to at least educate you guys a little bit on the city. I sent you a photo of the famous TV studio where Mr. Rogers did his show, and right there behind it is the high school where Dan Marino played football. So yesterday I went downtown and set up right there at the point where the two rivers, the Monongahela and the Allegheny, come together and form the Ohio. Which, by the way, I could swim to Arkansas from Pittsburgh if you actually just follow the Ohio all the way down into the Mississippi. Might be a little dangerous to do, but it could be done.
Interesting.
And what's right across the river, right across, it's more the Ohio than the Allegheny, but it's on that side. The photo that I sent you guys that I think probably had the biggest effect upon you, SmackDown, was Heinz Field.
Absolutely.
The home of the Steelers, the home of the Panthers. That's actually where I parked yesterday to get the bike out and then go all around downtown. I didn't realize that, and here I am wearing my Steelers T-shirt. I'm born and bred Steelers fan. I'm open about that. I'm proud of it. James Harrison had some pretty interesting things to say yesterday. In his during a talk with Willie Colon, who's doing he was a former Steelers offensive lineman who's now doing a podcast for Barstool. I think some of this is getting misconstrued. There's no doubt in a case here that if Mike Tomlin gave him an envelope, he didn't say what was in the envelope.
Of course he did.
I'm sure it wasn't Kit Kat bars and candy.
No.
Or a gift certificate to the Jerome Bettis' Steakhouse down the street. Coaches and owners are not supposed to pay fines for players. The Bounty Gate, I have a sense, is a different thing from what Tomlin did for Harrison. This is 2010. This is something that took place 10 years ago. What is it about things that happened 10 years ago that we're playing up again? The whole Armando Galarraga no-hitter, perfect game thing that happened 10 years ago. Now this Harrison thing, too. He hits Muhammad Massaquoi, pretty much knocked him out, was levied a fine, which was eventually reduced to $50,000. Initially, it was going to be $75,000. They knew that he was going to be fined just because Harrison played that way, and Goodell looked to fine him. So he says, and I was looking for the audio, and I couldn't find it without the very last end of it cut off, where he says the Gius thing, and of course, I don't talk like that. I don't know a lot of people that do. But the G-est thing, what is the G-est thing, by the way? The G-est thing that Mike Tomlin ever did, according to James Harrison, was give him an envelope in the locker room after the hit. What do you think the G-est thing means? Most gangsta? That's what I was going to
say. That was the greatest.
Yeah.
Greatest. Yeah, the greatest.
Because I could totally hear James Harrison. That was the greatest thing he's ever done for me.
That was the goodest.
They have an interesting history nonetheless, but I mean, he's not supposed to pay a fine. You're obviously not supposed to put bounties on players. We all learned about that during Bountygate. Sean Payton now getting in the mix a little bit, saying he'd anticipate the NFL might do a little bit of an investigation, but no more than that. Just sweep it under the rug. And this is bringing up hard feelings for Saints fans who might have a good reason for having hard feelings. I don't think this is going to be another Bountygate. No, highly doubt it.
No.
And James Harrison is walking back a little bit of the statement. Something to get into later on. 877-377-6963. We are right back.
The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
Mason had one of the best percentages in college basketball in finishing fast break opportunities. He was consistently up there as one of the best guys to finish in transition, which is important because you think about how the NBA game has evolved. Transition is a huge part, i.e. the Golden State Warriors and what they've been able to do.
Don't miss The Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Ty Richardson for A Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. They service commercial and residential lawns for weed management and fertilization for a lush, healthy lawn. Need bush hogging? They do that too. A Cut Above can make that driveway and fence look brand new with a good power washing. You don't have to put up with those unwanted pests either. Call today and get started with the flea, tick, and mosquito treatment to start enjoying the outdoors again. More than just a mowing service. They're A Cut Above. Call or text today at 479-719-5605. Lawn, landscaping, power washing, stump grinding, leaf removal, mulching, flea, tick, and mosquito control. 719-5605.
Back again at the all-new showroom floor at World of Wireless, 2 miles east of the previous location, right at the Light in Barling. Ben, you're right next door to Frank Rowe Furniture.
Yeah, come see us right at the Light in Barling next to Frank Rowe Furniture. Come see us 601 Church Street, 2 miles east of our old location, which was on Rogers Avenue. Come see us at our all-new location. Check out the 4K Dish TV. We've got 2-year price guarantee with Dish, $100 Visa gift card with Dish, prices as low as $59.99 a month, all the channels you could possibly want, guaranteed for 2 years.
Plus, you want to take care of healthcare workers. Dish does the same. You've got special plans, special offers if you're in the healthcare industry.
Dish just launched this week. As you're hearing this ad, they just launched a special promotion for healthcare workers to get some additional channels for free, a free pay-per-view movie every month. That is a great deal because people love pay-per-view movies. Nobody likes to spend money on them, but it's free. If you come by and see us, if you're a healthcare worker, we will take good care of you.
Right at the Light next door to Frank Rowe Furniture. It's the new World of Wireless. His phone number is still the same, 877-305-DISH. That's 877-305-3474.
Attention Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative members. Do you need a better internet provider? One who treats you like a member and not a number? Then check out our new fiber internet services from Wave Rural Connect. We are bringing state-of-the-art, high-speed fiber, internet, TV, and phone services right into your home. If you are an Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative member, go to waveruralconnect.com to sign up. That's waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-4WAVE-RC. Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Your locally owned Joe's Grill and Cantina on South 74th Street in Fort Smith will remain open during these unprecedented times. Takeout and curbside orders are available by calling 479-478-9600 or order online at joesfortsmith.com or use the Waiter app on your phone or tablet. Eat local with Joe's Grill and Cantina, 478-9600 or online at joesfortsmith.com. Joe's Grill and Cantina.
Bush Machine and Tractor at 7301 0 Street in Fort Smith is your one-stop shop for tractors, lawnmowers, and implements. Choose from Massey Ferguson, Branson, and TYM tractors. Implements from Woods, Battle Armor, and Modern Ag. Find a Gravely commercial mower and get the job done mile after mile and season after season. Bush Machine and Tractor is your #1 Branson dealer in Arkansas and works on all brands of tractors and mowers. Come see us or check out all our inventory at bushtractor.com.
Your voice lets him know he's safe. Shelter Insurance does the same for you. Roadside assistance is now included with your auto policy. So if your car leaves you stranded, just call and we'll take care of you while you take care of what's most important. Find an agent at shelterinsurance.com. Wear your shield, wear your shelter. Some restrictions apply.
Ask Wade Gilkey in Fort Smith or Jim Malum in Charleston about Shelters Home Insurance.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
2-2. Opens a drive way back to right field. You can kiss it goodbye. 2-run homer. Opitz into the back of the visiting bullpen. And Arkansas leads 9-3.
I'm back here on Halftime on ESPN Arkansas. HitThatLine.com. We're good friends up at ESPN Northwest Arkansas 99.5. Finishing up our second week with the folks up there. Thanks for keeping us on. We do have a little news involving Arkansas baseball. Matt Jones of Whole Hog Sports reporting that the Razorbacks are signing or adding a graduate transfer catcher for the 2021 season named Robert Emery. He has signed a letter of intent, spent 4 years at the University of San Francisco, which is his hometown. So this will actually be his 6th year of eligibility. Hit .381 before this season was cut short in a little more than, I think, about 15 games here. Second-team All-West Coast catcher 2 years ago, and was a second-team All-Ivy League catcher as a freshman his first year in college at Dartmouth. So that is the third graduate transfer that Arkansas baseball has added in the last week. Isaac Bracken of Northern Colorado, Lale Lockhart of Houston, pitchers. Lockhart a lefty, Bracken a righty. And now you've got Robert Emery, a catcher transfer from San Francisco. So it's we've had a lot of players put themselves in the transfer portal in the last week or so, SmackDown, and now you got some players that are coming over to Arkansas, and they're really, that's all adding to what's going to be just a massive roster crunch for Dave Van Horn, Matt Hobbs, and Nate Thompson. It's going to be interesting, and I love watching fall practice and the fall World Series when they actually get a chance to play games against each other. And I'll tell you, more often those games are better games than any of the games Arkansas plays against most non-conference foes in the regular season. These are going to be some wild games with real competition, guys really trying to battle it out for playing time once the spring season starts.
I wonder if there'll be a scenario eventually where you see, will Dave Van Horn put some red shirts on some of these guys, maybe the younger guys, to not lose their eligibility? Because theoretically, couldn't you not redshirt them, and then that kind of takes care of your roster crunch? Yeah, I'm just speaking. I'm just asking. I don't know. To me, that would seem like the easiest route if that's applicable.
Well, that's exactly the way that it happens. Is you battle for playing time in the fall, and they'll get a sense of who they want a redshirt based upon that. And then have a certain number of players that are iffy about any playing time coming into the spring, and some of those will get redshirted as the season continues. But that's a lot of grad transfers to be adding for baseball. Not a bad thing. Just going to make it a really interesting time for competition once the season does roll around. And I mean, it also leads the thought here that Hogs do have to cover themselves. Casey Opitz is a fringe draftee this year. I still think Opitz will get drafted within the first 5 rounds. There's only 5 rounds, of course. But there's a chance he does come back. And if Casey Opitz returns, well, then, this new catcher, I don't think he's going to get any playing time. So it's all very interesting stuff, and sometimes the facts of the situation contradict some of the outcomes like this.
Right.
So, anyway, it'd be really interesting to see how this does go down. I got a text in from Brandon. James Harrison said the stuff which, quote-unquote, implies dirty hits were rewarded by the Steelers and Tomlin, and then tries to crawfish the next day. No offense, that's why he doesn't like the Steelers or the whole rivalry with the Browns. A fight between two punks. Who cares who wins? Well, me, being a Steelers fan growing up here, I do. I understand what you're getting at, though. I mean, and Harrison,
he's a different kind of cat.
He's always had that sort of dirty tilt to him. I don't remember how often he was fined for late hits on the quarterback or low hits on a quarterback or just overall dirty hits. And, I mean, I understand that it takes a different mindset to play football, and specifically to play, I think, defense for football. I know you got to have a lot of controlled aggression. I do think James Harrison quite often was just trying to knock people's blocks off. And he has definitely put the Steelers in an awkward situation here, because you have a player a day later, and he's not walking back statements that money was handed to him or that an envelope was handed to him. He's saying it wasn't a bounty. He's saying that it wasn't a system of bonuses awarded to players for hurting other players. But maybe this is what the NFL starts to begin an investigation into practices from that coaching staff, but that's also 10 years ago. So I understand. I don't know how many of the coaches from back then are still on Mike Tomlin's staff. I know there's a couple of them, and Tomlin obviously too. So in that case, you can, just like you did to the Saints, potentially dock picks. But that's when you have to find a way. You have to find evidence that this was systematic, that it's not a one-time deal. And just one player talking about it offhand on a podcast doesn't mean that that was a systematic thing. But it might key an investigation from the NFL that could unearth other facts.
Because that's kind of similar how it all started with the Saints, correct? Or was it? Because I remember the whole news breaking, but I can't remember if it was that they had the proof right off the bat that there was this bounty gate going on right now, or did it start with one and then it trickled into
there was a disgruntled coach who I forget exactly who it was, who talked about this being systemic. Somebody that had been fired by Peyton for, I think, lying about leave time from his job and a couple of other things. And that was one of the issues that led to the NFL getting what they thought was evidence of a system. So, I mean, again, this is one instance. I'm not saying that this is also not something that could have happened in previous weeks and other weeks in the same season, other seasons. There are probably more teams that have done this kind of thing, even something illegal as a coach or ownership paying fines for players.
Right.
You know, and I know Sean Payton says that he expects the NFL will just sweep this under the rug. I just don't think that'll be a very good look for the NFL. I understand the NFL doesn't necessarily care about the look because people get pretty ticked off at Goodell for this and that. But I think in this case you can't just do some tiny little investigation. I think they're going to have to go in and do real work, and because when you look at what the NFL lowered the boom on the Saints with, loss of draft picks. Peyton, loses an entire year's worth of salary. So does Greg Williams. Williams was more in the wrong than anybody else. I just don't see how you turn a blind eye to this.
I agree 100%. That guy's name, I was looking it up while you were speaking about that. Mike Corello, and he was talking about, just like you were talking about, personal leave with the Saints. So,
okay.
No, I think it's going to be hard to discipline him now because James Harrison is retired.
Well, you're not going to discipline Harrison. This isn't about
I know you want to discipline him, right? But I don't know how you would go about doing it.
It's all about disciplining the Steelers, you know, and that's what I'm saying. Like it'd be different in college sports where who has to deal with the fallout from the Louisville basketball coaching staff's transgressions? The current coaching staff, the current administration does. I don't think in professional sports they would go at it quite the same way. So if it was a different head coach, a different general manager in Pittsburgh than there are now, which isn't the case. It's still Kevin Colbert. It's still Mike Tomlin as the GM coach combo. I think in that case you can still go back, investigate, and levy punishments on those two if you find reason to. If it was a different coach, if it was a different general manager now, I don't see how you do it. Anyway, I mean, this is it's just furthers the interesting relationship between Harrison and Tomlin and the Rooneys. I mean, you remember, I forget exactly his last year, but he legitimately walked out on the Steelers in the middle of a game and wouldn't play anymore. He would fall asleep in the middle of meetings. He gets himself released, and who does he go sign with? The New England Patriots. And now he still comes back and says he's got all this respect for the Steelers and for Rooney's and for Tomlin, and then drops this little bit of information on everybody and creates this giant headache. So yeah, I'm sure there. And what was it I said? Was it a couple weeks ago? I thought the greatest play in NFL history was Harrison's 100-yard interception return against Arizona in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. He's definitely had some good. He's had some good memories with Pittsburgh, but just seems odd to why bring it up now.
Just because he's trying to tell a story, I mean, like, how many different athletes have podcasts now? There's so many more stories that get published, stuff like this, than we've ever heard before.
Well, I agree with you, but why bring it up now? Because now, I mean, whether or not he respects the Steelers or whatever, but now you got to deal with all this firestorm, and now what you said on Barstool now is getting picked up by ABC News and ESPN and Fox and all these other guys.
The original question he answered was Cologne asked him what his heftiest fine was. He didn't ask him, and I don't think Harrison really meant to say something that was going to get Tomlin in trouble. In fact, he's saying, I thought he was trying to drop a compliment on him when he says the cheapest thing that he ever did. And it was something that he did for him. It was mind-blowing, really, mind-blowing. But we got to take a break because we'll come back and have Aaron Torres joining us from the Aaron Torres Sports Podcast. He had Muss on his podcast that came out yesterday, actually. I think he's had Muss as his featured guest on the Aaron Torres Sports Podcast more times than anyone else.
Is that because of us? Because it's our friendship with Aaron Torres.
Hey, man, I mean, he was on the Muss bus before we even knew who he was.
All right, good. Okay.
That's the truth. I mean, he was passenger number 1 up at the front of the Muss bus. First guy to pick up in the afternoon. So Aaron Torres joining us after the break. Stay tuned.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006, will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection, 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
The disruption due to the COVID-19 pandemic will not soon be forgotten. As a result, business practices are changing almost daily. At times like these, family means everything. Hey, I'm Drake Smith here for Pinnacle Telecom. If you're a customer of Pinnacle Telecom and need assistance during these challenging times, we are here for you. Call us at 479-242-0000 and give us an opportunity to help, because you are family, and family means everything. Pinnacle Telecom, tomorrow's technology today.
Art's Barbecue and Burgers is still open, taking care of the community and keeping you safe. Art's Barbecue and Burgers at 8203 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith is taking care of their customers in the drive-thru, curbside pickup, or use the Waiter app and have it brought to you. Call 452-2550 and Art's will have your order ready. That's 452-2550. Eat local at Art's Barbecue and Burgers, 8203 Rogers Avenue next to Aaron's in Fort Smith.
Hi, this is Melissa with True Grit Running Company. It's a difficult time right now, and social distancing is vitally important. That's why I'm here to encourage you to keep running. It's a great way to exercise in solitude, build up your immune system, and keep from going stir-crazy. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram for more tips on how to take care of yourself during this time. And remember, just keep running. This has been brought to you by True Grit Running Company, 6808 Rogers Avenue, Suite B, behind Chick-fil-A.
Are your real estate investments being properly managed? Are you sending a check or cashing a check each month? If you're tired of your current property managers, then call Trinity Multifamily. Trinity will qualify your tenants and leases, inspect your properties, and take care of maintenance and provide you with web-based access to current financial reports, leases, and pictures of your property. Call Trinity Multifamily at 479-452-1817 or online at trinitymultifamily.com. Trinity Multifamily, your teammate in the real estate game.
Are your appliances struggling? Do you need that part and not sure where to go? Mid-South Distributing has you covered with 9 locations in the Arkansas area. Appliance parts and accessories for all major brands of appliance. Mid-South Distributing has you, the customer, in mind when you're needing that part for your appliance. Mid-South Distributing. Check out midsouthparts.com to find your location near you. Mid-South Distributing. We're in your neighborhood.
This is ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
Franklin takes his lead at first, but now home to Kerstad, and it's hit well, right field. Bates looking back, going back. It's out of here! It's a 2-run walk-off bomb for Heston Kerstad, and the Hogs take the series.
Welcome back on Halftime, as we'll be joined here by Aaron Torres, our good friend out in California, host of the Aaron Torres Sports Podcast, also hosting weekends on Fox Sports Radio, Kentucky Sports Radio as well. Aaron, how you doing, man? What's new?
I'm good, Phil. You know, it's crazy. First of all, thank you for having me. Second of all, congratulations on We Are All Now On in Fayetteville. So, you know, I'm basically the mayor of Fayetteville, so that's great. And 3, no, man, it's been a wild week. You know, I don't know if you guys want to get into this or not, but I feel like I have become the de facto voice of college football in California. I'm getting more calls from all over the country. Can you explain what the hell is going on in California right now? And am I going to get my Bama USC week 1? I can't describe. It's been a busy week, but a fun week, but a fascinating week for sure.
Well, I do want to get in what's happening in California because I think that it sort of shocked people into the thought that this could happen anywhere right now. But, I mean, you're seeing conflicting stories coming out of California. I'm seeing San Diego State. They're part of the Cal State system, but yet they're still planning for a football season, which I'll assume Fresno's doing the same. San Jose State's doing the same. The UC system has no idea what's going to go on. Division II in California already canceled their fall seasons. It sounds like mass chaos.
Well, it's I think, I don't know if I would use chaos. I mean, everyone's on a different page, but I think largely the whole college sports world is out of page. I mean, you have the ACC commissioner saying yesterday that he can't imagine having games without students on campus. San Diego State is already planning on doing that. James Franklin says we can play with half the Big Ten. If Ohio State isn't ready, we're good to go. So, you know, I think California is a microcosm for a lot of what's going on in college sports right now. And what I would say very simply is that, you know, I think 2 things. One, both the San Diego State thing, and first of all, you bring up a very important point. There are 2 major state school systems in California. The Cal State system, which is 23 schools, has canceled in-person classes for the fall, but that does not include any Pac-12 schools. UCLA and Cal Berkeley, which is obviously University of California, they are part of a different school system. Nothing has been decided there. USC and Stanford are private schools, obviously. And so nothing has been decided in terms of Pac-12 schools. But I think when you reference the fact that San Diego State, the AD has said publicly, not only does he plan on having fall sports, but he already has a date in mind on when he wants his athletes back on campus. What that says to me, I truly believe this, is that these games are going to be played hell or high water. You know, is there a scenario where a game or 2 in the out-of-conference gets canceled, where universally we push back the season a week or 2? I think so, but I don't see, you know, I just think that because of the situation in California, there's this assumption there's no way USC is going to be able to start on time. I'm just not there yet, Phil. I'm just not there yet.
Do you see any reason why, if because there's going to be, I think it's going to be impossible for everybody to start the same time. We talked about this yesterday a little bit. It would make sense. It would actually make sense to do conference-only schedules, maybe for just this year. Can you put an argument against doing that?
I could put an argument against doing it in that, you know, the data could be at a place in you know, listen, here's the thing you got to remember. We still have like 5 months, 4.5 months till the start of the season, and I think it's impossible to know where the data is going to be at this point. I mean, you know, the argument that I keep making is that we're now exactly down in terms of the fact that most things really shut down March 16th. That was the Monday after the Rudy Gobert stuff when all the conference basketball tournaments were canceled, etc. And what I keep telling people, we're 60 days in. 60 days from now is still only July 15th. And so the reason I bring that up is because if you think about how different the conversation on this has been, even just in the last week or 2 weeks, 3 weeks, as opposed to where it was 2 months ago, and then you extrapolate out to where we could be with this conversation 2 months from now, I think that we are going to, I think the conversation is going to continue to evolve. And as the politicians all say, the data is going to drive us. And right now what the data is telling us is that most people without pre-existing health conditions, underlying health conditions, or elderly are relatively safe in this climate. And so does that mean that I can definitively say everyone's going to be in the stands week 1 cheering their team on? I can't. But you ask me, what is the argument for going conference only? I think that's it, is that, where the data has gotten to right now versus where it could even be 2 months from now. So I think that's where I am right now. I had another point, but I'm not going to lie, I completely forgot it off on that tangent, so I'm just going to throw it back to you guys and let you get to the next question.
Got our man Aaron Torres here on Halftime. Aaron, we want to talk a little bit about you had a really good guest on your podcast this week, and someone that I
heard of him.
Yeah. A lot of Razorback fans have heard of him. His name is Eric Musselman. Really great conversation that you'd had with him. What stuck out most to you in the conversation with Eric Musselman this week?
Well, a lot of things. Muss is always a great interview. I know he was on with you guys. I don't know I honestly haven't had a chance to hear, so I don't know if he said anything on my show that would overlap with what you guys said. But, I think the conversations that I had with him, and frankly that I'm having with people all over college sports, it's the same with you guys. I know you have coaches on, and, I know Phil's really plugged in women's basketball and baseball, and I know he's, you guys are both having conversations behind the scenes. And so as it pertains to Coach Muss, I think it was just really interesting that he as a coach is in the same boat that we are as media, we are as husbands and sons and fathers and mothers and wives, in that it's kind of a day-to-day, take-it-by-day kind of deal. I asked him, I said, do you have any idea when you'll get kids back on campus? He said no. I said, do you have any idea what practice might look like with social distancing? He said, I'm making phone calls, but not really. And so, I think that sometimes when somebody has a fancy title or a high-paying job, we think that they have all the answers to stuff, whether it is a conference commissioner, a person that works at the NCAA, a highly paid head coach in football, basketball, baseball, whatever. But I think what really, speaking with Coach Muss and speaking with a lot of other people in college sports over the last couple of months, we're all flying by the seat of our pants trying to figure this out as well. And so more than anything, that's what probably stood out to me is he's ready to get his guys back to campus, but he wants to be respectful of the health officials and of protocol like everybody else.
I want to get your opinion, too, on something that you two spoke about, and it was the fact that how after every episode of The Last Dance, him and his players, they have a big Zoom conversation and kind of like what they learned and different things like that. But I just want to get your opinion on this because of something me and Phil will talk about later in the show, too. If you're a coach, is there what aspect of Jordan's game, because I'm sure this has been steered in the conversation with Musselman. If you're a coach, what aspect of Jordan's game would you want your players to really observe the most?
Yeah, I mean, the one that he pointed out to me, and for people, who haven't had a chance to listen, the Aaron Torres podcast, I encourage you after halftime to go check it out, is that really, I guess, the competitiveness of it all, and that was one thing that Coach Muss mentioned stood out to him was the fact that Jordan was always first in all the team sprints, the fact that, when he got cut from his team in high school, that, when he got cut from his team in high school, that he didn't transfer, he didn't complain. He might have complained to mom and dad, but mom and dad told him to get back in the gym and get better. And so I think that's kind of a lesson that not only are coaches trying to impart on their players, but I would hope that players are taking out of this too. Listen, I'm not going to sit here and do the whole, things were so much better in my day kind of deal. But, something that I've been pretty vocal about and people have been responsive to is, I think that NBA players now should be watching this documentary and saying, there are some things that maybe I've been doing that maybe I need to reevaluate. The fact that Michael Jordan said, when you sit down for 3 hours to watch me, I owe you the absolute best that I could give you. Whereas you change that to a modern-day NBA player, you have guys sitting out when they're fully healthy. And so I get that there are medical reasons. I get that sometimes it is good to take a night off. There's nothing wrong with that. But I also do think that professional athletes in basketball, and I think maybe even baseball with some of the comments we've seen in the last couple of days, I do think have lost a little bit of touch with reality, and I hope that they're seeing that with some of this from the documentary.
I want to finish on a thought about The Last Dance. Now, I'm a little jaundiced about Michael Jordan, AT, because I was not a Michael Jordan fan of the 90s, even though I loved watching the NBA.
Well, real quick, let me jump in. Has this, in hindsight, changed your perspective? Because that's how I felt about Kobe when Kobe was playing. Oh, he's arrogant. Oh, he's this. Oh, he's that. And I find myself now, not just because he passed away tragically, but also just the way that he approached basketball. I don't see that from the modern players, and it has made me appreciate Kobe more.
This has actually crystallized my view of Jordan more so. And I've enjoyed every minute of this documentary because I do think that he's the most dominant athlete of my lifetime and the greatest player in the NBA. But I think that it is a commercial and Jordan's answer to people with the recency bias of the, greatest of all time argument of him versus LeBron James. And I think that in some ways, and I don't think MJ cares about this one bit, that he's come off as petty against athletes that he's competed against 30 years ago. And it actually is it's really just crystallized my view of him. I wonder what you thought.
I feel the exact opposite. As a matter of fact, I don't think I've ever disagreed with you more on something, Phil. I actually give him a lot of credit. I think it'd be easy with 30 years in the rearview mirror to either, try to change the narrative or soften your stance or whatever. I think it'd be easy to say, it wasn't that big of a deal that the Pistons walked off the court. Or, I really regret the way that I treated my teammates. But he doesn't. I think it's an incredibly commendable thing for Michael Jordan, where in this era that we live in, where every word we say we have to watch out that we're not going to offend this person or that person or whatever, Michael Jordan is just saying, look, I don't care about not being liked. I don't care if I was the best teammate. I don't care if I beat you in competition, because at the end of the day, it's about winning, and I was doing what I had to do to raise everyone to my level. I think whether you like the way he approached it or not, I just give him a ton of credit because he's unwilling to back down from that stance. I just think, when this video comes out 30 years later, 25 years later, whatever, it'd be so easy to sit there and say, well, in hindsight, I probably should have been a little easier on Scott Burrell, or I didn't really. No, I'm trying to win championships. I'm trying to vanquish Patrick Ewing and Sean Kemp and Gary Payton and, John Stockton every time I step on the court. I don't have time to be nice to Scott Burrell. I don't have time to hold his hand. I got to get the best out of my guys because Karl Malone and John Stockton are getting the best out of their guys. And so I actually feel the exact opposite. I love that he has not backed down from this and is standing by his beliefs and what he believed at the time and isn't afraid to say something unpopular.
Let me throw in one thing real quick, and me and Phil have talked about this a couple times too, kind of along the same conversation. I mean, you have your view. I kind of agree with you. It's kind of just, for me, being a 90s kid, and I grew up watching this, but I didn't know the whole details. I've really enjoyed this. But I guess where I'm coming from, would you rewatch this? Because, everybody's been enjoying it. There's been a lot of hoopla about it. Phil's kind of crystallized his opinion of Michael, but would you rewatch this, in 6 months down the road?
I would, but what I think has been so cool about this is that we've all watched it communally together. So much of think about, name the last thing outside of a major sporting event that we've all watched communally. Maybe it was Game of Thrones. I don't really watch Game of Thrones, so I don't know, but there's not very much, and it's funny because Jerry Seinfeld's made a few cameos in this show, and he even says, somebody asked him recently, they said, will there ever be another Seinfeld? He goes, no. We're never going to have a situation where 40 million people get together at the same time to watch a show. It's just never going to happen again. And so I think it's been really cool to watch it communally. But, no, I've enjoyed the heck out of it. I absolutely would, Matt. I don't mean to go short here, but I don't know how much time I have to answer this question. I go long on everything. So I would absolutely rewatch it. But I think a lot of the fun of it is that we're all watching it together. We all react to it on Monday. It's been a lot of fun. It really has been. I'm not ready for it to end. I'll tell you that much.
100%
agree. I'm not ready for our conversation about it to end. Unfortunately, it has to, because I think we could go another 30 minutes about this, AT. It's always good talking with you, man. And we'll be watching these last 2 episodes on Sunday, so I plan on bringing it up when we talk to you again. Thanks, man.
All right, old man Phil. I know it was better when it was Jerry and Wilt in a 2-hand set shot. I'll talk to you guys next week, okay? Take care, guys.
Appreciate it, AT.
You got it. Take care. Oh, goodness gracious.
Doesn't he just make your day better?
I was 17 years old in 1994 when Michael Jordan was playing baseball. So
I was 1 year old.
That's my era of basketball. Wilt and the set shot and Bob Cousy and Bob Pettit and all those guys. Maybe I just sound like I'm 65, but I'm not.
Well, you still look beautiful.
Well, I appreciate you. You obviously don't know what beautiful is. We'll come back after the break, wrap up the first hour, 877-377-6963 to get with us.
Elite Roofing is a locally owned roofing contractor. If you're building a new home or maybe need a new roof on your existing home, Elite Roofing can take care of you. Elite Roofing is known for their dependability and reliability. Just ask any of their satisfied customers. They are licensed and insured, and references are available upon request. If you need a roof, call your local roofing contractors. Elite Roofing, 478-8668. That's 478-8668. Elite Roofing, 478-8668.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
New construction and business remodeling is great, but it leaves a big mess, and job site cleanup is the final touch for any commercial construction or renovation project. When you need to put the finishing touch on your project, call your local Service Master Clean. From post-construction cleanup to everyday janitorial services, no job is too big or small. Call your local Service Master Clean, 479-646-4087. That's 646-4087, or online at servicemasterpc.com.
We're now living in uncharted waters with the spread of COVID-19. With the partial closing of a lot of businesses, sadly, some will soon try and turn your possessions into their possessions. Guardtronic has been providing security for homes and businesses for over 60 years. Whether you need a camera system to keep an eye on things or a complete home security system, call Guardtronic, 479-785-2323, or go online to guardtronic.com. We have so many worries these days, safety should not be one of them. License E50.
I'm Attorney General Leslie Rutledge, and you're watching the Rutledge Report. The governor declared a state of emergency. Price gouging laws are now in effect. Businesses and individuals cannot charge 10% more than they did before. Bad actors will face criminal charges and a fine of up to $10,000 per item. Report price gouging to my office. At the Attorney General's office, we will do the fighting for you. Call us at 800-482-8982 or visit arkansasag.gov.
I'm giving Jeb's Basement Renovations 1 star. He kept asking me what's behind the walls down there. I'm like, why? What do you know?
No matter how hard you work for your small business, online reviewers will find something to complain about.
And then he's like, you can trust me with the job. And I'm all like, trust?
And while Progressive can't save you from these trolls, we can help you save money on commercial auto and business insurance.
Yeah, he charged me less than he said he would, which is lying.
Get a quote online today at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliated and third-party insurers.
ESPN Radio proudly recognizes National Military Appreciation Month, presented by Navy Federal Credit Union.
David Robinson entered the U.S. Naval Academy in 1983 and led the basketball team to 82 wins in 3 years, including an improbable run to the Elite Eight in 1986. After graduating in 87, he was drafted #1 overall. His NBA career was put on hold as he spent 2 years on active duty in the Civil Engineering Corps. He went on to have a Hall of Fame career in the NBA.
No one is more reliable than you, the brave men and women of the military. Whether you're on active duty or a veteran, you're always there for us. That's why Navy Federal Credit Union has been there for you since 1933. Now more than ever, we want to thank you. So we're saying it by offering special deals on credit cards, car loans, and certificates. Go to NavyFederal.org/celebrate to find out more. It's just a small token of our appreciation for our reliable military members. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission.
This is ESPN 95.3. This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
Over to Trozzi. The ball is loose. 1 second to play. Jerry heaves it, and Arkansas wins the game. 75-71, the final score from Bud Walton Arena.
Close out the first hour of the show here. Just a couple of notes to get to. We do have live sports this weekend. You got motor racing, NASCAR. Yeah. NASCAR is, what is that, Sunday, 3:30 Eastern. So what's that, 2:30 Arkansas time on Fox, Sirius XM, NASCAR Radio, the Real Heroes 400 NASCAR Cup Series race.
Is that to an empty stadium?
Yeah, empty stadium for the 293-lap race. Did you see they weren't able to do time trials for to set the pole positions? So they just drew random numbers depending upon where each team was in the standings on owner points. They had 4 levels for the random draw. And you would kind of think like that would be one way. I mean, racing is already socially distant, right? I mean, we can still get out in our cars right now. It's not a big problem.
Speaking of which,
drive-in things.
I've seen people wearing masks while they're driving, and I wonder if that's really necessary. I don't think you can catch it while you're sealed into your car by yourself.
Well, that's the one thing. And look, one thing that I think we've all come into contact with a little more than usual during this pandemic, when you are wearing a mask, and I think some people don't take them off when they go outside. We are being reintroduced to the smelliness of our own breath in a way that we haven't been in years.
Yeah.
Are you finding yourself brushing your teeth a little more often now because you're wearing a mask when you go out?
Well,
that's the true sign of a pandemic.
You said you like the way your breath stinks.
Yes, I did say that. No, I was going to say one thing, too. You were talking about NASCAR. That's probably the one of very few sports where you're not going to really notice the crowd because of already how loud it is on TV with the engines and everything else. I mean, yeah, you're going to miss the crowd. Don't get me wrong. But at least during the presentation.
It's also like these are the largest crowds in sports. I mean, these are like 150,000 people.
Oh, yeah. 200,000 people are at the Daytona 500, which just blows my mind. But I think from a viewer standpoint, because obviously we're not going to be there, you're not going to miss the crowd as much in NASCAR. I think the only social distancing problem you might have is just in the pit crew. That's about it.
So Fox, which airs NFL football too. Remember what Joe Buck said? They're gonna pipe in fake crowd noise. Pipe in the fake crowd noise for NASCAR, just for a guinea pig.
Yeah, test it out.
Not like anybody's going to be able to tell if it works or not.
I mean,
you can't hear the crowd.
That's a good idea, though. I mean, truthfully, if Joe Buck is as serious as he sounded, no better place to try it than NASCAR. And I'm not knocking NASCAR at all, but what else? I mean, do it.
I think they ought to pipe in other fake car sounds too. Like a cheesy horn.
Yeah, like a novelty horn, like.
Yeah, novelty horn.
How'd that go again?
And they rub up against each other. Also, baseball has announced, they still haven't announced when the season's going to start or if there's any sort of an agreement between the owners and the players as they bicker over money. But they have announced that they will hold the 2020 Major League Baseball draft June 10th. That's day 1 of the draft. It's only 5 rounds, and they'll be doing the other 4 rounds the following day. So June 10th and 11th will be the days for the Major League Baseball draft. And as of right now, 3 Razorbacks have chances to be drafted. 2 of them will definitely be going. Heston Kjerstad, seen him listed anywhere from 7th through 13th on the various prospect lists. And then, of course, there's Casey Martin. Fringe end of the first round, might be a compensation pick or early second round, and then Casey Opitz. That's the one that we're all wondering about. In a 5-round draft. He hasn't necessarily been on many of the mock drafts, but So I guess the next thing we got to wait for as far as drafting is concerned, the NFL has held their draft. Major League Baseball has a date set. Has the NBA said anything about the date of the draft? I know that they had to postpone what they wanted to do with the Combine, but there's been no announcement about it. Meanwhile, the NCAA has pushed back, or not even pushed back the date. They've right now eliminated the date for players, for underclassmen who pull their name out of the draft. And it's an indefinite time. So they're all waiting for the NBA to make up their mind. And right now, I mean, that's the organization that seems to be the last as far as a draft is concerned, or resumption of the season. So get with it, NBA, so we can figure out, so that Arkansas basketball can figure out whether or not Isaiah Joe's coming back next year.
It's going to be interesting to kind of figure out, and that's probably why the NCAA hadn't put a firm date on it, to kind of see what the NBA wants to do as far as that. I wouldn't see any reason why the NBA would delay the NBA draft. I don't see
the shortest draft.
Shortest draft, easy,
just like the NFL did. Baseball's going to do the same thing. I mean, they're not going to have draft rooms. It's all going to be done video conference. So I mean, the NBA can do the same thing. And I mean, they could get the NBA draft. You could do over the case of just one night. In fact, baseball doesn't have to do this 2-day thing. I guess they're just trying to space it out. But it used to be. I mean, when you do a 40-round draft, they did it over the course of 3 days. And where in the first round it might take 7-8 minutes between picks, you would hear the picks from like rounds 30 through 40, and it was one right after the other. Nobody's taking their time. It's just, let's just get this thing done with. That's why it's even kind of funny that baseball has a draft that's 40 rounds. That's why they're going to lower it to 20 rounds at some point. Oh, boy, we've got one more hour left on our week. SmackDown, get those big paws going. I know you're fired up about this weekend coming up. You gonna watch some? You gonna watch some NASCAR? You got a wrestling event planned to watch?
No wrestling right now. I think the next one's in July sometime, or June. Excuse me.
Gosh, so far away.
Sorry. So no wrestling.
Would you watch the race in
Oh
Darlington?
yeah, I'm not a big NASCAR fan, but I like watching NASCAR just fine. I'd watch it.
That's one thing I've never been to a NASCAR event or any sort of auto racing. But
I bet it's fun. I hear you can bring your own coolers in. I'd really like to go
to a NASCAR race. Yeah, I hear you can bring your own coolers in. You can just sort of park in the infield and sun yourself. And
I hear that's where real Americana is.
Yeah,
in the infield of like Talladega.
Merca in the middle. Halftime back, second hour. Stay tuned.
B&J Comfort Solutions provides home comfort and energy solutions to the River Valley, specializing in residential sales, service, and installation, offering only the absolute best customer service around. Call in for any of your service, maintenance, or replacement needs. B&J Comfort Solutions offer an industry-leading 5-year labor warranty on all new system installations. Veteran-owned and operated, and satisfaction is always guaranteed. Contact B&J Comfort Solutions today at 479-646-0284.
Wave Rural Connect is bringing state-of-the-art fiber, internet, TV, and phone services right into your home. Get amazing fast fiber internet, 100 megabits for only $49.95 per month, or 1 gigabit for only $79.95 per month. TV packages from the basics to our amazing Ultra TV, starting at $32.95. Fiber phone services start at $29.95. Go to waveruralconnect.com to find out if we are installing in your area, or call 1-833-4-WAVE-RC. Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Are your workouts more fun than this? Well, if they are, then I want to sign you to an endorsement deal with Michelob Ultra. I'm looking for anyone and everyone who makes working out a blast. If that's you, head to TeamUltra.com for a chance to score awesome perks like Team Ultra gear and more. That's TeamUltra.com to enter.
No purchase necessary. Open U.S. residents 21 plus. See official rules at TeamUltra.com. Message and data rates may apply. Void where prohibited. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hey sports fans, this is Scott from Calico County and wanted to let you know that we have reopened our dining room. Of course, we're doing all the things that the health department requires us to do with limited seating, distancing, and the other measures to keep you protected. During this time, we're continuing our curbside pickup. We also are still offering delivery through the Waiter app and DoorDash app, and also wanted to let you know that our catering is still available. So for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, it's Calico County, just off Rogers Avenue behind Randall Ford.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Chance of showers and thunderstorms with us tonight. An overnight low will drop down in the low 60s north, upper 60s south. Showers with a chance of thunderstorms for Friday. Our high temperatures in the upper 70s. And then taking a peek at Saturday, showers and storms. Our high temperatures near 80. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
I hate everything you just said. KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3.
They're hilarious.
You guys are awesome, baby. You have these guys, ESPN in Arkansas. They do a good job.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas? Dixon Street. It'll get you.
Streaming live from
hitthatline.com.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious...
Jones for the win. He got it. He got it. He got it. Mason Jones banks in a three with 0.1 seconds to play.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
All right, our final hour of action for the week on Halftime, 877-377-6963. Phil Elson here with Matt Smackdown Jenkins, Matty T. Take you up to 2 o'clock. Ruskin and Zach have you at 3. Hey, what do we got on the air this weekend? Do we have another old Razorback broadcast to play?
Yes, we do. And so,
game? What do you got?
Now, this is not necessarily for 99.5, but on 104.3, 95.3, and 96.3, we'll be carrying the game that went till like 3 o'clock in the morning. So that was
the 2015, right? 2015 game versus
No, that was 2017.
2017, excuse me.
Yes.
2017 game against Missouri State. Phil remembers that vividly, I'm sure. Well,
I remember parts of it. It's tough to remember a lot that happened at like 2:30 in the morning. You know, one interesting thing, though, is that Nate Thompson, Arkansas hitting coach, and third base coach, was the hitting coach and third base coach for Missouri State there. In that ball game. Actually, not the third base coach, because their head coach, Keith Gutton, does the third base coaching. So, anyway, I'll tune in.
Absolutely.
Perhaps I find a way to get some memories.
Yeah, we'll have that.
Remember everything about it
tonight at 7, tomorrow at noon, and then Sunday at 2. And that's a 2-hour broad. They've got it condensed into a 2-hour format.
Yeah, I'm sure they had to, because otherwise we were on the radio for like 5 hours.
I was fixing to say, how long were you on the air for that game, or how long was like when you started that game to where you ended? I know you ended at 3, but
I want to say like the game against Missouri State began at 7. And we weren't the game. I don't think we got off the air until 4 a.m.
God almighty.
That's nutty. I mean, there were a couple hours there where we didn't have to talk because we had a rain delay going on. But gosh, that was absolute nuttiness. I'm looking forward to listening to it again, just to see if I can match that energy again at 2:30 in the morning. They say nothing good happens, after midnight. Well, there's evidence otherwise. Let's see, 877-377-6963 calls or texts. On the line right now, Jackson. Hey, Jackson, what's going on? How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I listen to your show quite a bit, and I heard Phil mention, that he was 17 years old during the 94 championship.
That's right.
Of the Razorback basketball team?
Yeah.
That's exactly right. That Razorback basketball team had an impact on me, man. I mean, I didn't even know where the state of Arkansas was located, yet me and my friends didn't really miss any Arkansas, or really not many Arkansas games.
Well, the one thing I was talking about, I was asking him, did he ever have a memorabilia or anything from that year?
A Razorback memorabilia from 94? Me?
Yeah.
I don't, because I didn't live here then. I lived in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in 1994.
I've got...
So I've got memorabilia from the 1994 Major League All-Star game that was played in Pittsburgh that year, but I don't think that's what you're asking about.
Well, I got to tell you what I got. Very few people don't have.
Shoot.
And back when they won that, Coca-Cola made the bottles of Coke for the Razorback basketball team.
Yeah, I've seen these.
I've got a full case of them. They're 26 years old.
I've got
Jackson.
I've
You
got
actually
some,
still have a case of full Coca-Colas that are from 1994, right?
That's correct.
I do too. I've got one. My grandparents gave me one like 5 or 10 years ago. It's a little 6-pack of the glass Coca-Colas, just like what he was describing, sitting in the top of my closet. Never been cracked open.
It's funny how Coke did the same thing for the Major League All-Star game here in 1994. How many different commemorative cans of Coca-Cola are out there from various events in 1994? And we've got one downstairs in my parents' house, and it's still full too. Maybe this is Coca-Cola from the exact same batch, Jackson.
Yeah, I was just, I was thinking about a lot of that, and I've had several people, wanting to buy some of them,
I wonder if unopened Coca-Cola from 1994 is worth money, more so than just a random, open can of Coke from 1994.
So?
Is somebody going to pay for that, knowing that they can't ever drink it?
I bet we look up on eBay. There's probably some on sale right now.
I mean, like you buy expensive wine because you're going to drink it at some point. It's supposed to taste really good. Like 26-year-old Coca-Cola probably isn't very tasty.
There's actually a show on the History Channel called Eating History where the whole show is these guys acquiring old, stuff that's still in packaging like Pringles or an old, box of 89 Batman cereal and then eating it and see how it tastes.
So I just figured, I just keep them, and give them to my grandkids, something to remember, because right now, Eric Musselman, I think we're on the road of winning another one. And, maybe they'll put out another one. I can put it with them, I was 50 years old when they won, I'm 74 now. And I'm looking to be here another 20 years, so I know that, we'll get another one before then.
Well, I certainly hope so. I think within the very near future, Eric Musselman's going to have Arkansas near the level that you got to be a possible national champion Final Four team. Jackson, appreciate the phone call, man. Thanks. Do it again sometime, okay?
You got a good one.
Appreciate it, Jackson.
You got it.
I'm looking on eBay here in a 94 Razorback commemorative national championship bottle, unopened, full of Coke, $17.79 with free shipping.
Wow. That probably sold for what, like $2 when you bought it? Wow.
Yeah, save it another year.
Impressive return on investment.
I would almost crack, like if I was going to say this before he got off here. If Arkansas was to get back into it, I would almost crack open the 94 celebration and drink it.
You know the thing that I've heard that people have tried, and you don't want to do this from everything I've understood about it, because I won't do this. Go find an unopened set of baseball cards with the chewing gum in it. Like
you're going to break your teeth.
Chewing gum from the 70s.
Oh, yeah.
Or something. Like initially baseball cards came from tobacco companies. We don't do that anymore. I don't know when they started inserting chewing gum. And it's not like that gum was really good to begin with. It was even that. I mean, the Topps chewing gum lasted in your mouth for like 3 chews, and then you got to get rid of it. Otherwise, it's going to stick inside your mouth for the rest of your life. But I've seen some people talk or tweet about chewing 45-year-old Topps chewing gum. These people are lucky to be alive.
Those are the warriors of America.
Yeah, that's
real
I'm being very
I'm being very sarcastic when I say that.
Maybe that's another thing you can add to fair food. You're asking, various things you can fry up. How about fried 45-year-old Topps chewing gum?
Hey, if we can sell fried butter, we can do anything.
Well, I think
I don't know.
That gum was hard as a rock when it was brand new. I can't even imagine.
That's right. It shatters teeth.
Hey, put a little vitamin G next to it. Vitamin G can do miracles.
Now tell me what vitamin G does for you.
It makes you shiny, makes you look good. That's why I look so good.
So this is all a wrestling thing, isn't it?
Yeah, sure.
But that's that's almost $18 for an unopened bottle of Coke from 1994. Knowing you're never going to drink it. Like, you are not going to drink this bottle of Coke. Otherwise, why would you? You're wasting your investment then. You're going to have to hold on to it until Arkansas wins another championship and then put it back on the market.
There's some other ones on here. There's like $25. One person is selling one on here for $50. This is I need to dig mine up and see if I can find it. I know they're sitting. I just know where they're sitting on the shelf. I have that, and I have the old. I think it was the T-shirt that they gave away. They didn't come from the game itself, but like the commemorative national championship T-shirt.
See, to me, something like that is too cool to sell for such a low. It's like for $17. It's like, do you really need the money that much that you want to sell? Hang on to it. You've held on to it that long already.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, what about just some regular random bottle of Coke that it's commemorative from 1994? Does that also have some added value to it all these years later? Or does it actually need a logo and a championship moment to get the value?
I would think so. It needs to be specific to something.
So apparently there is one, I just did 1994 Coke on eBay. There is a collectible VTG 1994 Hot August Nights Reno 6-pack of Coca-Cola for $70. Whatever the crap that is.
And somebody is going to spend money to acquire this.
Yep.
Somebody out there is going to use their hard-earned money to acquire this unopened 6-pack.
During a pandemic, no less.
Yeah. Maybe there's some 26-year-old rolls of toilet paper that are stored away somewhere that somebody can go find when they really need it. Oh, boy. It's a good call. I appreciate, and again, I don't have any memorabilia from Arkansas. The earliest memorabilia I had that involved Arkansas would have been from the '87 Orange Bowl, the 42-8 loss to Oklahoma. I went to that game in Miami. I didn't even know where Arkansas was located. You know what I learned from that game? That's the first time I ever heard the Hogs called, and I learned how to pronounce Oklahoma and Arkansas backwards. That's how bad of a game that was. We were gone at halftime. That's my first memory of Arkansas. You're welcome. We'll be back after the break and continue on this fine Friday.
The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Crabb.
Mason had one of the best percentages in college basketball in finishing fast break opportunities. He was consistently up there as one of the best guys to finish in transition, which is important because you think about how the NBA game has evolved. Transition is a huge part, i.e. the Golden State Warriors and what they've been able to do.
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3.
Back again at Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisaw. The F-150, number one for more than 40 years. Right now, 2020 F-150s with big rebates, and we're talking 4x4 F-150s.
Hey, I know it really does sound crazy. I mean, a lot of the times you go out there and you buy a truck that is not a base model. We're talking about an XLT here, 4-wheel drive, crew cab truck for less than $35,000. I mean, you don't see that.
These are big rebates, and when you talk about a price point at that, you're talking that new car payment that you can afford.
Oh, definitely. I mean, hey, obviously, if the price is cheaper, the payment's going to be cheaper. So come down here and take advantage of it. You're talking about a crew cab 4-wheel drive truck that is not a base model for less than $35,000. That's almost $10,000 off.
All right, come see Troy get the best deal on a 2020 Ford F-150 4x4 crew cab for less than $35,000 at Harry Robinson's Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 and off I-40 in Salisaw.
Knockouts, Haircuts for Men is coming to Fort Smith. It's such a big deal, we brought in a real ring announcer to set the scene.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this corner, armed with scissors, a pair of clippers, and if you're lucky, a smile, it's that same old hair place that takes your money and sends you on your way. But in this corner, Knockouts, Haircuts for Men, where you get the best haircut of your life from one of the Knockout girls, a cold beer if you want it, and sports on every TV in the building.
Knockouts, Haircuts for Men, opening soon in Fort Smith.
Spring is here, and it's time to get outdoors. Just arrived at Jelco Outdoors. New spring footwear by Solomon, sandals by Aerosol, Keen, Sanuk, and the largest selection of work and safety footwear for men and women in the River Valley. Jelco Outdoors, serving the River Valley with quality footwear since 1983. Shop local. Shop Jelco Outdoors.
At AOG, we realize some customers are facing challenges because of the pandemic. We're here to help. AOG can offer you a wide array of payment options. Please call us at 1-800-842-5690 or visit AOGC.com. Manage your account online 24/7 by clicking on Login/Register in the upper right corner. You can also simplify your life by enrolling in electronic billing, auto pay, and average monthly payments. Thank you for being a valued AOG customer. We're all in this together.
Hi, this is Melissa with True Grit Running Company. It's a difficult time right now, and social distancing is vitally important. That's why I'm here to encourage you to keep running. It's a great way to exercise in solitude, build up your immune system, and keep from going stir-crazy. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram for more tips on how to take care of yourself during this time. And remember, just keep running. This has been brought to you by True Grit Running Company, 6808 Rogers Avenue, Suite B, behind Chick-fil-A.
Your locally owned TGI Fridays in Fort Smith is now open for dine-in, curbside to-go, and delivery for both lunch and dinner, 7 days a week. TGI Fridays is taking your safety seriously, following every guideline. Enjoy Fridays favorites like appetizers, burgers, sandwiches, salads, all the great Fridays, signature entrees, kids' meals, and great desserts. TGI Fridays, now open for dine-in, curbside to-go, and delivery. Call 479-484-0906. That's 484-0906. Or order online at Fridays.com. Your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 in Rogers and Fort Smith.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
Be a 1-2, runner on the move, ball's drilled by Moore to deep right field. Harlan's back, still running, and it's out of here! Robert Moore over the right field fence for a home run, and that ties the game in the 5th inning. Wow, boy, the kid can flat out play.
I'm going to get through some texts here on halftime. 877-377-6963. The litter us with your texts or your calls. JP wants me to go watch the races in Alma when they start back up. He thinks I'll enjoy them more than I think. I don't think that I will have a bad time at races, JP. I don't think I've ever said that. If I ever inferred it, I didn't mean to. It's nothing that I've been interested in before. I'm not, and I don't mean this in a negative way. I'm not a gearhead. I don't really know anything about cars. I know how to drive a stick shift. That's about as far as I can go. I don't have interest in cars too much, but I would love to watch vehicles race in a circle
and only turn left
at a very fast pace and only turn left. Yeah, so I think I'd have a great time, and I think part of the reason would be the company.
Now, I want to mention two things about JP. About a month ago, we do have a standing invitation to go jump in one of his dirt track racing cars and go drive them around.
I might even take him up on that.
And then, can we just mention JP's fantastic joke from yesterday?
Go ahead. Remind everybody what we were talking about.
At the end of the show yesterday, we were talking about the most vulgar, like, actors, movie characters. So JP,
and baseball managers.
Yeah.
One of the Tommy Lasorda rants. I mean, there was probably like 15 F-bombs in a minute and a half.
Which is impressive. But JP and Alma took the cake. He sends us a text right after the show, and he says, I know y'all are done. I know y'all are off the air, but the most vulgar character is the Roadrunner, because they had to bleep every word he said.
Wah, 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 wow. He did get a chuckle out of us.
He got us. I'll give you that, JP. So,
Hacker and Harrison says he was 24 and 2 years removed from the University of Arkansas when they won the '94 championship. Jason in Frankfurt says the last caller said, I think we're on our way to winning another championship. But he felt the same way when Stan Heath had his 2004 and 2005 recruiting classes.
Don't say Stan
Heath out so well.
Don't say Stan Heath and Eric Musselman in the same sentence.
Hey, Stan Heath got to the NCAA tournament in his last 2 years at Arkansas. That was not enough. It was a different Razorback basketball program, or at least set of expectations back then.
Yeah.
And Matt in Hector has, on a cassette tape, there were these things called cassette tapes back then in '94.
What?
He's got the final 5 minutes of the radio broadcast of Mike Nail on a cassette tape. He was also 17 years old.
That's
Very
cool.
Good.
That's really cool.
It is cool. I used to record radio on cassette tapes.
I did too.
Yeah. Casey Kasem in the weekly top 40. And
when I was in like
other games and whatever.
3rd and 4th grade, I would call into radio stations to request songs and then wait until they would play it back my request and record myself requesting a song. And I have like just dozens of me requesting songs.
That was the only way you could get on the radio.
That's right. Yeah. I was trying to get my foot in the door.
Danny's in Rogers. Hi, Danny. What's going on?
Philip, I've been wanting to talk to you a long time. I really appreciate your play-by-play abilities. It's a lost art. I wish all television play-by-play guys would turn on their television to another game and listen to it out of the room, like with their eyes closed. Mm-hmm. You bring so much. Your first year, Andrew Benintendi, I believe it's his first 4 games, and it's the post-game interview. You're the best at that, and Andrew's the player of the game. And you ask him, what's it feel like? This is the first game you've played without getting hit by pitch. That was classic, Phil. And I like the way you explain the arenas and the baseball field. With the Razorbacks, they went to Georgia your first time, and you explained the remodeled field and all, and it's just so nice. And the women's basketball, Alabama had remodeled their arena, and you explain that so good. It is a lost art, Philip. I really appreciate it. And your post-game interviews, Rokia, you were interviewing her.
Yeah, we had Rokia on a couple times.
Well, this time, previously the players of the game, however you did it with the ladies, they would talk about the assistant coach helped this, the assistant coach, they'd say their name. And Rokia, you're interviewing her, and she said, the coach. you knew it was Mike Neighbors. It was just a classic. I really enjoy you, Phil. Just wanted to tell you that. And, of course, I'm saddened. Do you actually think that the fans will be able to attend a football game this season?
Well, Danny, that's a good question. It's a loaded question without a straightforward answer, and I'd love to be able to give you a straightforward answer. I also want to say thank you for your compliments and your kind words, and I think you remember more about some of these broadcasts than I do. So you've got a really good memory, Danny, and I appreciate that.
Well,
I do think that there will be fans in attendance at some of these, at not all college football games, but at some. But I don't think you'll have full stadiums. I doubt there'll be half full stadiums. But I do think that some fans will be allowed inside. And what's going to be one really interesting thing from that aspect is who gets the tickets? If you have X amount of season tickets for a stadium that's got 74,000 people, you probably have more season tickets sold than number of people that will be allowed in the stadium. And I'm just thinking out loud here. And that's going to lead to a lot of controversy. So I do think that there will be some stadiums that fans are allowed in. I don't think it'll be all of them. And I might just be guessing here more than anything and trying to be hopeful about it, Danny, because right now I don't think any of us really knows.
I thought of something else, Philip. Let's see, what's the lady with you, Erin, when you're doing women's basketball?
Yes, Erin Portman. Used to be Erin Gatlin, former Arkansas point guard.
Yes, you were doing play. It was that first season, I know it, and you were just getting it. Like, Jessica, she's tripped, no call. Jessica walks, no call. And you're just going 90 miles an hour. It's the only time I've ever heard Erin giggle. And you kind of, what? And that's what it was, Phil. It was just funny the way you follow the ball. Anyway, Phillips, thanks for taking my call, and good luck.
I appreciate, again, the phone call, Danny. Thank you very much. Hope to hear from you again. If you want to talk about a funny play-by-play broadcast, any of the games you do with Matt Zimmerman are going to be funny. That's just a fact.
He's made me laugh more times than I can remember. I think we were coming home from somewhere that might have been, I don't remember the game, but me and my parents were listening to it. No, it was a Missouri game. That's what it was. It was Arkansas, Missouri. And just the way, we lost that game, but just the way, the pregame, he said, we just do one of these two things right here. We're going to beat them and beat them good. It was just, he wasn't holding anything back.
Listening to Matt and Chuck do the games are really, really entertaining. I mean, for one thing, Chuck's really good at basketball, and Z knows the sport. And he's a Razorback through and through, but he's also not a classically trained broadcaster or even a trained broadcaster. He's being trained on the job by Chuck, and he's like a coach on the bench there, and he kind of, with each turnover, he'll breathe heavy and sigh. With each bucket that's scored, you might hear him giggle. He laughs at the end of the game when they win, and he's even gotten up from the broadcast location and gotten into the handshake line. It's funny. When you're listening to it, you're listening to something that's different. But doing a game with Z is unlike any broadcast I've ever done before. because he's got that quick voice. He wants to interject, and he'll say something right in the middle of your call. It doesn't upset me. I loved it. I love doing games with Z. I love doing games with Bubba. I like doing games with people that are just a little bit different because let's just face it here. Matt Zimmerman is a little bit different in a very good way, and so is Bubba Carpenter. And again, this isn't a value judgment on them at all. They are wonderful people, and they are just a little bit different in very good ways. And Jason asks the same question that you asked as our last caller kept referring to me as Philip. I was going to ask him if did I anger him or anything? The only time I ever get called Philip is by parents when I piss them off.
Philip.
And then they might even drop in the Harold, the middle name.
Ooh,
Philip.
You know, if you get the full first name and then the middle name, it just got real.
That's right. Well, so I wonder if our last caller would have heard, since he's in Rogers. I don't think he ever heard the call. I wanted to. You remember yesterday we were talking about bad calls, the worst calls you've seen, and some of the worst calls in Razorback history. When we come back from the upcoming commercial break, I did find the audio of what I think is the worst call I've ever seen in person. A game that I was working in Little Rock for the Arkansas Travelers in 2005, Texas League Championship Series. I also admitted to the thought that, all these years later, and even just days later after it happened, I don't know if I handled it as best as I possibly could, because I just acted upon emotion rather than really describing the entire situation. But it was the goofiest thing of all time. If you've ever thought that you've seen something that's really weird, how about a baseball season ending in a championship series on an incorrect count of 4 balls and 2 strikes? You heard that right. This actually did happen. And I have the audio of that to play during the next segment. And you can critique me as much as you want to, because I think there's plenty to critique. And I would like, at some point, if I get a chance, to offer up an apology to the umpire that was the ire of my the target of my ire. Halftime's brought to you by the Fenceman. Put the number down, 479-782-3936. That's the Fenceman. If you own a business that needs more security or needs more curb appeal, then call the Fenceman. They've got a fence that can give you both. They can come over for a quick, no-obligations quote. And the number again, 479-782-3936. The Fenceman is a division of Quantum Property Services. And Halftime returns after the break. Stay tuned.
Wave Rural Connect is bringing state-of-the-art fiber, internet, TV, and phone services right into your home. Get amazing fast fiber internet, 100 megabits for only $49.95 per month, or 1 gigabit for only $79.95 per month. TV packages from the basics to our amazing Altered TV, starting at $32.95. Fiber phone services start at $29.95. Go to waveruralconnect.com to find out if we are installing in your area, or call 1-833-4-WAVE-RC. Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Telephone and internet services have never been more critical than now. This is Drake Smith with Pinnacle Telecom letting you know that our company has invested millions of dollars in this area to build the finest network available for times just like this. More importantly, we employ the best and brightest technicians to make sure the network performs to your expectations. Come join our family and rest in the security we offer our Pinnacle family members. Pinnacle Telecom, tomorrow's technology today.
Hey, Ty Richardson for A Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. They service commercial and residential lawns for weed management and fertilization for a lush, healthy lawn. Need bush hogging? They do that too. A Cut Above can make that driveway and fence look brand new with a good power washing. You don't have to put up with those unwanted pests either. Call today and get started with the flea, tick, and mosquito treatment to start enjoying the outdoors again. More than just a mowing service. They're A Cut Above. Call or text today at 479-719-5605. Lawn, landscaping, power washing, stump grinding, leaf removal, mulching, flea, tick, and mosquito control. 719-5605.
I'm Attorney General Leslie Rutledge, and you're watching the Rutledge Report. The governor declared a state of emergency. Price gouging laws are now in effect. Businesses and individuals cannot charge 10% more than they did before. Bad actors will face criminal charges and a fine of up to $10,000 per item. Report price gouging to my office. At the Attorney General's office, we will do the fighting for you. Call us at 800-482-8982 or visit arkansasag.gov.
Tri-Hill Turf offers the highest quality turf and pest services. Hey, you say those are big words. Well, let's see. Tri-Hill Turf and Pest has a company agronomist, state and nationally certified technicians, free soil testing, and they even have precision GPS guided application equipment. Now that's high tech. For over 30 years, Tri-Hill Turf and Pest has used the latest application technology, and they strive for turf and pest excellence. They are your local turf and pest experts. Call the local team at 782-0404. Tri-Hill Turf and Pest.
Hi, this is Melissa with True Grit Running Company. It's a difficult time right now, and social distancing is vitally important. That's why I'm here to encourage you to keep running. It's a great way to exercise in solitude, build up your immune system, and keep from going stir-crazy. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram for more tips on how to take care of yourself during this time. And remember, just keep running. This has been brought to you by True Grit Running Company, 6808 Rogers Avenue, Suite B, behind Chick-fil-A.
This is ESPN 95.3. This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
Madden's 1-0. Kerstad hits a high drive to center with a chance. Back goes Todd. Todd's at the wall. That's gone. And Heston Kerstad leads off the 6th inning with his 5th home run of the season.
All right, so picture this situation. This is the 2005 Texas League Championship. This Travelers team from 2005 SmackDown was just, I was talking to my dad about it yesterday. It was like a Major League All-Star team in some cases. Jared Weaver, Howie Kendrick, Eric Ibar, Kendrys Morales, Mike Napoli, just to name a few. There were several other players on this team that eventually made it to the major leagues. These were guys that held down major league jobs for years, and includes last year's World Series MVP, Howie Kendrick. They're playing against the Oakland Athletics affiliate, the Midland Rockhounds. Midland leads the series. It's a best-of-5 series. They lead the series 2-1, and they lead in the 9th inning by 1 run at old Ray Winder Field right there in the middle of Little Rock. The batter for Arkansas is Jason Espedo. The on-deck hitter is Eric Ibar, longtime Major League shortstop who led the league in hits that year. The pitcher for Midland is Alex Santos. And this is the craziest ending to a season, to a game that I have ever seen, and it is the worst call of all time by an umpire that I've ever seen. And the radio call was done by yours truly 15 years ago. Here you go.
The stretch. The 3-2 pitch. Ball 4 inside. Espedo still standing there at the plate. That was ball 4. Plate umpire Fritzoni has not told him to go to first base yet. And there is a huge controversy now. He missed it. That was ball 4. It was a 3-2 count. Stephen Fritzoni just completely blew the call. He does not know what the count is. Espedo steps back into the plate, and we're going to get another pitch. Here it is. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. You got to be kidding me. Midland wins the championship after they walk Jason Espedo. You have got to be kidding me. Plate umpire Stephen Fritzoni just completely blew the last play of the Texas League Championship Series. Have a nice career, Fritzoni. That is ridiculous. Congratulations to the Midland Rockhounds, but this game should not be over. Absolutely ridiculous. 6-5 is the final score. Controversy rules this one, but this is going to stand. Midland is the winner. I'm not saying they don't deserve it, but Stephen Fritzoni just completely forgot what the count was. That is absolutely unforgivable. How do you forget what the count is? You've got a ticker in your hand. I keep the count on my scorebook. It was 3 balls, 2 strikes, and that is a garbage call by Stephen Fritzoni. Any other game but this doesn't matter. It is Game 4 of the Texas League Championship Series, and Stephen Fritzoni doesn't know that 4 balls equals a walk.
Oh, boy.
Wow.
Oh, boy. That's the angriest I've ever been on any broadcast of any kind. I legitimately kicked the wall. My ex-wife, well, we weren't married yet. We were going to get married later on that year. My ex-wife is up in the press box. She's looking at me like, I don't know this person right now. I am red-faced. I am at the top of my lungs. The umpires are being escorted off the field by the police with the Little Rock crowd chanting BS, BS, BS as loud as they possibly could. It was total chaos. Absolutely complete, total, utter chaos. And it did stand. If you were to read the story about this, you would think that nothing like this could happen. How could the one person who really needs to know what the count is not know the count?
I mean, he has
out
a clicker in his hand.
3,000 people in the ballpark. He got a stupid clicker in his hand. And I think he did have a nice career.
I was going to say, how did his career go?
I think he eventually made it to AAA. I saw his last name in some box scores in the Big 12, so he was umpiring college baseball, too. I have not seen or come across Stephen Fritzoni in the 15 years since that call. I would love to, because I'd like to get his perspective from it. I mean, all these years later, I'm not going to come across angry to him. I want to know what happened. I want him to own up to it.
Can we track him down and get him on the show?
I would love to. It'd be a great moment.
Be
a fantastic moment. Yeah, so that is I mean, I don't know if I'd say like it's the worst call of my career, but it's certainly one that's really memorable for me and anybody that was listening to it. And for the guys that were there, you just couldn't imagine anything like that happened. So I thought that was since I was talking about it yesterday, and every once in a while I'm known to be a little bit flippant on the radio.
That's fair.
I was in that 2-minute clip.
Did you get any grief or anything for
Oh no, I didn't get any grief. I got emails from listeners that were proud.
They were like, "Thank you, Phil."
That's right. And I never saw that umpire again. Not once. He didn't umpire another Texas League game.
That's crazy. Yeah. So that's insane. That's got to be probably the worst way to end a game. So,
this is the worst call that I've ever seen.
Absolutely.
In any game. I mean, there's one thing like there's a judgment call, or gray area calls. Strike zones are gray areas. Sometimes you just miss a call, but forgetting the count
at that time too. I mean, it's like
exactly at that moment.
How do you space right then?
Well, we all have weird times when we space. I guess that's definitely the weirdest one. So you've got a weird call for your own.
So
right?
mine's it's a great call. I mean, it was a walk-off home run for Arkansas Tech. So just some backstory on this. So I do this little fun podcast with some friends I went to college with called The Non-Essentials. You can find it on Facebook if you want to watch it. They brought up, and I think it was 4 or 5 years ago. It was a couple days ago. It was Arkansas Tech. I think they were in the regionals at that point in softball, and the game went extra innings. Now, softball, if you don't know, goes 7 innings and then on from there. I was doing play-by-play that day, and then my friend Patrick Camlin, who works at the University of Arkansas now, was doing my colors. So we flip-flopped at the 10th just to give me a break and let him have some fun. So he got to call the walk-off home run. But yours truly, he kind of forgot what was happening right now and then let the fan come out of him instead of being a professional broadcaster. So you saw worst call. It's not a bad call, but you two will have a field day off of what I did here.
1-2 pitch to Hill.
Whoa.
A long drive to center field. It's going. Cameron Hill, 2-run home run to end the game here in the bottom of the 11th inning for the Golden Suns.
What a hit from Cameron Hill, the senior.
What?
I forgot where I was.
Sounded like a wrestling announcer there.
I forgot where I was, and for some reason, the good Lord told me it was a great time to go,
I'm going to say, if I was out in the hallway when that was happening, I would have definitely have knocked before I opened the door and walked in.
Was your cast partner okay?
Yeah.
Being walked all over by you?
So
that must have hurt him.
After that, apparently there was a push that I didn't know about. They wanted to change my nickname. At that point, I think I was just Jenkins or whatever. They wanted to start calling me Boomer because I completely blew out that microphone after that call. But yeah, That was my worst call, and I still get crap over that call. And people walking up to me, like I'm a dog. I don't know. It was. I did get redemption though. Like a week later, I got to call a walk-off home run. It's still it's my favorite one I've ever got to do. But yeah, I've had my redemption with that.
Now, I did a search on Steven Frizzoni. He did umpire college baseball. I found an instance of him ejecting a pitcher in San Diego State because he thought that the pitcher threw at him. Not at the batter. He thought that the pitcher threw at the umpire, and he was the plate umpire. Goodness. I think Steven Frizzoni had a pretty interesting career. I'm gonna effort getting this former umpire on our show at some point, just because I want to show that you can be magnanimous and big as long as somebody admits to the mistake that they probably knew that they made in the first place. We want to bring people together on this program, right?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Bring people together.
Yeah, I mean, it's time to bury the hatchet, Phil. It was a bad call.
You and your former broadcast partner. I'm surprised he ever got on the air with you again after you stepped all over him.
I didn't mean to. Here, I'll play it's 25 seconds, and we got redemption here later on.
1-1 count. Ball gets down, over to first, overthrow. There's one run coming in, and there we go. Arkansas Tech comes away with the victory.
What a win.
What a win.
What a finish.
Janie Knowles gets the walk-off 2-run RBI, and the Golden Suns come back from 4-1 down to win 5-4.
It was a smidge. It was a smidge windy that day. I've got one more in here we can play after the break. It's my favorite one I've ever done.
Well, your broadcast partner is showing you exactly how it's done. Let the play-by-play guy do the talking.
Oh, that was me that time on the play-by-play. Yeah, so
I know that's what I mean. He was letting you do the talking.
Yep.
Close out the show with a cherry on the top as halftime closes down on this Friday.
To feel the calming effects of nature, take a deep breath. In and out. Every breath makes you feel closer to nature, and every sip makes nature feel closer to you. Michelob Ultra Pure Gold, beer in its organic form.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006, will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection, 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
Evans Body Shop wants you to know that we are here for you. During this uncertain time, let us take the wheel and get your car repaired so you are ready to roll when the time comes. We offer pickup and delivery and will sanitize your vehicle during your complimentary detail that is done with all repairs. Don't want to get out at all? We have you covered. We offer a mobile estimating tool that allows you to take a few pictures and we will email or text your estimate directly to you. Check out our website or Facebook for more details.
Evans Body Shop, where we meet the nicest people by accident.
Need to see a doctor but you're concerned about going? River Valley Primary Care is now seeing patients at all 10 clinics by video and phone visits. See a doctor today who can diagnose your condition and prescribe medication if needed. These visits are now covered by most insurance plans. River Valley Primary Care in Ratcliffe, Mountainburg, Mulberry, Clarksville, Lavaca, Lamar, Waldron, and 3 locations in Fort Smith. Call 479-431-2050 or go online to rvpcs.org. See a doctor today by video or phone with River Valley Primary Care.
Fresh means fresh, as in no preservatives. That's right. If it's fresh, it doesn't need to be preserved. Try Jim's 100% premium Wisconsin cheese. Fresh whole milk mozzarella, wood smoked provolone, old world style Romano and Parmesan. The freshest all-you-can-eat salad bar in town. No preservatives and fresh every time. At the corner of Greenwood and Gary in Fort Smith.
When your carpets, upholstery, and floors look dirty and stained, call your local Service Master Clean at 646-4087. Service Master Clean is an industry leader and can remove the toughest stains from your home or office. And they back their work with a satisfaction guarantee. Eliminate dirt and grime from your carpet, hardwood, tile, and laminate floors. Call your local Service Master Clean, 479-646-4087. That's 646-4087 or online at ServiceMasterPC.com.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen, or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
We're now living in uncharted waters with the spread of COVID-19. With the partial closing of a lot of businesses, sadly, some will soon try and turn your possessions into their possessions. Guardtronic has been providing security for homes and businesses for over 60 years. Whether you need a camera system to keep an eye on things or a complete home security system, call Guardtronic 479-785-2323 or go online to guardtronic.com. We have so many worries these days, safety should not be one of them. License E50.
This is ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
And it'll be Dungy on the trigger from the baseline. Feeds Ramirez. Catch and shoot three by Amber is good. And a 20-point game for Amber Ramirez. All right, SmackDown, you got your redemption call ready to go here.
I got it. You ready for it?
All right.
This is Arkansas.
Set the scene.
Arkansas Tech is down. I believe it was 4-3 at this. No, it's tied at 4-4. Excuse me, 4-4. Bottom of the ninth. Arkansas Tech at the plate. Marcus Wilson is at the plate. He is. I think at this point he was 0 for 4. He had struggled all day, and then this Jim.
One swing of the bat could get a lot of that confidence back right here.
He's got the potential to do so, and showed that last weekend. So, trying to get back into things here.
Right on cue, deep to left field. Wilson has a chance. That ball is out of here. Oh, my Marcus Wilson. A walk-off home run, and the Wonder Boys win it 5-4.
Marcus Wilson, backing up my words there, had the ability to do it after a rough night at the plate. Makes the Wonder Boys winners.
What a hit from Marcus Wilson. The mob is at home plate. The Wonder Boys win it in walk-off fashion, 5-4.
There you go. That was good. That was a redemption call. Well done.
I had to redeem myself because I cannot tell you the hell I was getting from Patrick Kamerling, Paul Smith, and all these guys. My God, they would not let me hear the end of So
I don't know if I'm going to let you hear the end of it.
And see, I pretty much just gave you and Matty T free bulletin board material. Next time you guys piss me off or I piss y'all off, you can just play that clip.
All right, let's just run through some of the headlines that we got to earlier. Arkansas signs a catcher transfer from San Francisco. It is their third transfer for the baseball team in the last couple of weeks. This is Robert Emery, who is eligible to play for Arkansas this very next year. The Major League Baseball draft will start June 10th with the first round. Rounds 2 through 5 will be the following day, aired on MLB Network. And, of course, we're expecting very possibly 3 Razorbacks to go in that Major League Baseball draft. Also, ESPN reporting that Mario Williams announced his commitment to Oklahoma. Williams is the 16th top recruit in the country overall, according to ESPN, and is the #1 wide receiver in the 2021 class. This all just happening over the last couple of hours. All right, what are we going to finish out the show here with? Well, we got the Last Dance.
There's only one way to it.
On Sunday. That's right. That's what we're looking forward to this weekend. And there are prop bets on things that you could see on the Last Dance. It's tough to find things to gamble on these days. We've got to figure out ways to gamble on television shows. So let's see. First person shown
Ooh.
Odds are 3-2. It's Phil Jackson. Jerry Krause is second at a 2-1 odds. Scottie Pippen 3-1. Jerry Reinsdorf 4-1. Dennis Rodman 5-1 odds.
Let me ask that: where did episode 8 end? I was trying to remember what was the last thing.
It's with the finals victory over the Sonics.
That's where it ended.
It's their 4th championship, right?
Yeah, that's right, because Jordan was on the ground crying. Yeah.
These next 2 episodes should be about championships 5 and 6, and those great series with the Utah Jazz.
Ooh.
So
out of those, I would go
with Jerry Krause.
Yeah,
I think I'm going to go with Jerry Krause.
Just
because a lot of this is what is episode 10 going to end with? The breakup of the team, and it was all about Phil Jackson being let go by Krause. Krause has been painted as the bad guy throughout the entire production, so I think he'll be the first one shown.
I'll go Phil Jackson to be different because I think episode 9 is probably going to hit on both of those championships, and then 10 to me is going to be kind of like post that, and then what happened to Jordan after that, what happened to Pippen after that.
Well, and that leads to another one of these prop bets. And the question is, will Michael Jordan be shown in a Wizards uniform? The money is going towards yes. I'm going to say – actually, the money's going towards no. I'm going to say yes, even though I think it's just going to be at the very end of the program. And I really thought this documentary is not about the last season of the Chicago Bulls. This is about Michael Jordan's career. This is a start-to-finish documentary about Michael Jordan's entire career. They made it look. We thought it was supposed to be about the last season. It's about the entire Bulls dynasty and Michael Jordan's career, which ends with him playing with the Wizards. So I do think they'll show him in a Wizards uniform.
I don't think they will. Because I think the way the whole thing has been produced and the way it's been portrayed, I just don't see them. Because, I mean, he didn't do anything noteworthy with I think one time, didn't he go for 50 or 60 with the Wizards?
He had a couple of games, I think.
So, I mean, outside of that, he didn't do anything really noteworthy with them. So I'll say no. I don't think they will. And kind of leave everybody hanging.
How many people will be shown with cigar in mouth?
Ooh.
Over, under 3 people, easy over. I mean, come on.
Easy.
You're going to need 2 hands to count the number of people with a cigar. I mean, is there even a moment where they're speaking with Jordan where he doesn't have a cigar? And remember, he's smoking in someone else's house. Those are not his. Those are not his houses. That Jason Hayher was able to interview him in. They did it in other people's houses.
I mean, I'd let Michael Jordan smoke in my apartment.
Sure, you would. How many times will the F word be said? Over, under 2.5. Are you kidding me? Just 2.5 over, under? There's going to be double-digit F-bombs. If you watch the first 8 episodes.
This one's probably going to be the one where it's probably I'd say close to 20, just because of what the magnitude of what we're probably fixing to see is. So I'll take the over.
Will Michael Jordan cry while being interviewed? The money is on no. I'm going to let you go first with this, because he did cry in episode. It was the end of episode 7.
He did with the teammates, and then he did with his
We're fired up about it because, what got him to cry? It was him talking about his own competitiveness.
I'm trying to think of what we'll see here. No, he won't cry.
No, I don't think there's going to be any more crying.
I don't.
There's been enough Jordan crying memes anyway to begin with. You already have 2 now.
Maybe No, he ain't gonna cry. Nope, I'm not gonna talk myself out of it. Nope, he's not.
All right, so we'll see what we come up with when that.
I'm looking forward to it though.
On Monday, do you see that their ABC is going to be airing a whole post game show of The Last Dance with Stephen A. Smith hosting it Tuesday on ABC. I know Stephen A. has been doing a Twitter thing post show. I mean, this is what Aaron Torres was talking about. This has been our shared sports experience, with the exception of missing sports, where I think we're all sharing in that experience. The Last Dance has been our NCAA tournament, opening day for baseball,
Masters,
Kentucky Derby, Masters. We had the Arkansas Derby, right? So at least we had that.
NBA
Finals. All these things that usually are shared watching experiences have gone away for the time being. So The Last Dance has been our shared watching experience. So I think there's been a lot of fun to watch this, knowing that a whole lot of other people are watching it and feel emotionally invested in it too. Even in ways like me, where I'm coming in with a skeptic's eye because I was not a Michael Jordan fan, and I'll tell you, I mean, it has definitely crystallized my view of him.
Well, I think it's
and I don't think he cares what your view of him is.
No, and I don't think he does. And I think everybody's getting a different view of this. For like me, it's more of a history lesson for me because I knew what happened in the 90s. I mean, they won 6 championships, he's the GOAT and everything. But for me, it's all the other drama that went into it. Because as a 90s kid, for me, I personally didn't know about all the drama between Phil Jackson and Jerry Krause. I genuinely didn't know that. I probably should have, being a sports guy, but I genuinely didn't.
Well, I mean, when you were watching SportsCenter every day while this was going down, it's difficult to forget it. You know, I mean, this is how you learn about these things.
And I was 3 years old when this whole thing started happening. I was 93, baby.
I thought Aaron misconstrued a little of what I'd said. I don't want Michael Jordan to apologize for disliking Isaiah Thomas. I don't want him to just say a bunch of nice things about Patrick Ewing because some people want him to be nice or something like that. I would just like just a little bit of grace because he still is competing against these people all these years later. I don't expect you to change as a person necessarily because he's the one who has been able to, he's the guy at the top of the pyramid his entire life. Nobody's going to tell Michael what to do. It's the other way around. He can be who he wants to be. And this documentary is just, it for me, crystallizes all the thoughts I had about him. He's an incredible athlete, best basketball player I ever watched, greatest athlete of the 90s, and as marketable as anybody I've ever seen. But I do think that the pettiness has shown. It wasn't so much in the last 2 episodes. I don't know. I don't think it'll be so much in the next 2 episodes. But I do think, too, this is part of the battle, part of the competition of the greatest of all time. So 20 years after LeBron is done playing, I'm sure he'll already have a movie made about his career, and he'll have his answer. And he'll have the last say on it as well. And maybe he'll be doing interviews in somebody's house that's not his.
It's gonna be a fun Sunday night for sure.
Yeah, it will. It'll be a good weekend, and I'm excited about whatever it is we've got planned for next week, which I don't even know what it is.
Here
but
comes
we'll have
the fun.
something planned. Here comes the fun. That's right. The fun is ending the show and going and starting the weekend. Guys, have yourself a great weekend. Be safe, whatever it is you're doing out there. And we'll be back with you on Monday for another halftime. For SmackDown, for Matty T, I'm Phil. Get up, get out, and get better.
Back again at the all-new showroom of World of Wireless, right at the light next door to Frank Rowe Furniture and